want you guys to imagine with me something. Picture yourself as you were watching yourself through a movie with different characteristics and different personality traits than you have now. If you're outgoing, imagine yourself. If you're shy, imagine yourself as outgoing, and vice versa. And if you have brown eyes, believe that you have blue eyes. Now picture yourself interacting in society with this new persona and through this perspective. This is how it is for people with dissociative identity disorder. I want to inform you on this very rare disorder that affects nearly 1% of the population according to humanillnesses.com. As a psych major, I make it my goal to understand the minds of people who are suffering with these types of conditions and mental illnesses. And I make it my goal, or my future goal, to find possible treatments for these people. First, I'll explain the causes and what it is. Second, I'll explain the symptoms. And lastly, I'll explain possible treatment options. This disorder affects nearly 25,000 to 250,000 people, according to WebMD. One of the main causes of this is trauma from the past, such as child abuse, sexual abuse, or just any physical abuse that the host can find traumatic. So, according to angelfire.com, dissociative identity disorder is the existence of two or more distinct personalities or personality states within a person, each with its own relatively enduring pattern of perceiving, relating to, and thinking about the environment and its own self. So imagine these personality traits as their own individual person with their own past and their own history. They can believe that they're from different nations, they can believe that they speak different languages, and even have different physical characteristics than the host. Now, the most useful clinical definition is developed by Braun and Klepp, who define this as a personality, as an entity with a firm persistence and well-found sense of self and characteristics and consistent pattern of behavior and feelings in response to a stimulus. It must have a range of functions and a range of emotional responses and a significant life history. So where does this root from? As I stated earlier, it roots from traumatic experiences and physical abuse and basically any type of abuse that the person doesn't want to connect themselves with. Now, people affected with this are called hosts, as I was referring to them earlier, and their personalities, the personalities that live within them are called their parts. And their parts can take complete control over them at times, causing the host to completely black out from their own self and their awareness of their own self. So what are some of the causes? Well, as I stated earlier, it's just traumatic abuse. And diagnosing people, they'll have certain symptoms, but the main thing is discovering that they're having amnesia and blacking out from their own life. On to my next point. Once one knows what this disorder is, they can identify it by understanding the symptoms. So some of the symptoms that can affect the host physically are headaches, and they can also lead to alcohol and drug abuse, and as well as depression if they can't come to terms with their own illness. Another symptom includes out-of-body-like experiences, and it's like they have no control over their own physical self. Some of the effects that affect the person mentally are mood swings, anger, headaches, extreme anxiety, and extreme depression as well. Now, as far as how one can also diagnose it, one can ask oneself, if you refer to yourself as we or us, or if you ever have certain flashbacks or memories come back to you all of a sudden that you don't really remember yourself in. Through this disorder, it's very severe, but treatment options prove to be very helpful. So medicines aren't really useful since they don't have any chemical imbalances within their brain. So drugs such as drugs won't really prove to be very effective because the drugs fluctuate the chemical imbalances to make them more balanced. But the treatment options that are available, according to webmedicinenet.com, psychotherapy is the mainstay. So basically talking with the therapist and explaining the different personalities. But the therapist doesn't really talk to the host, they talk to the different personalities to try to merge them together. And this in essence, brings all the personality into one person again. And this is probably one of the most effective treatment options. The other options are hypnosis, and this helps gain control over the multiple personalities. So, in conclusion, I discussed about dissociative identity disorder, what it is, its causes, its symptoms, and its possible treatment options. Now, I wanted you to be aware of one of the most severe dissociative disorders, and to know that although these people who are suffering are not controlled all the time in their bodies, the treatment options prove to be very effective, and they go on to be very talented and very normal beings. Thank you.